time is both a gift and currency. We all have been given 168 hours. You could have been taught how to do something that demands you incorporate business in your journey. But you may have not been skilled in acquiring people skills, only to find yourself having the skill to open the business that should bring about success for you, but your people skills have never been developed. And so you don't understand the importance of community, you don't understand it.
And then the community itself.
If I'm a 5, guess who I'm gonna more than likely hang around? 1, 2s, and 3s.
I enjoyed the seminar today. It was very informative. It will help me improve my life as I move forward in my next phase of life.
And there's an encouragement and a level of accountability.
I really enjoyed the class today. And this is the next season of my life. And this is very helpful for me because I'm an empty nester. And now it's all about Tina and where I should be going. And this is very helpful to me.
Because once you go into denial and excuses, you imprison yourself from all possibilities. Wow. Anybody have ever met somebody when they open their mouth, you say, well, I can't help you. The more you understand your vision in life, meaning this is what I'm trying to do in the next year, it determines what time you go to bed. It determines what time you get up. It determines what book you read. When life purpose is not discovered, life then is not appreciated at its best. Why? You disregard a lot of things. For a person who don't know their purpose, they don't have meaning.
Coach Ricardo delivered information that was educational, that's beneficial, and his content is always good. I want to encourage everyone, if you have not connected with the Effective Living community, you are missing out on abilities to evolve and grow. You becoming better each and every day.
As long as you're holding on to blame and denial, you'll never live life effectively.
Welcome back to Effective Living Morning TV. I'm so excited, guys. Listen, do me a favor, spread the word. This is a conversation you don't want to miss out on, man. I'm about to talk with my kingdom brother and close friend, Pastor Adrian McConnell. How are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me this morning. You are doing it, man. That video was amazing. I'm so proud of just all that you're doing through this platform, and just kudos to you, man. Thank you so much for, again, this opportunity to chat it up a little bit.
Man, you were there when I made the turn. You were there when
I was there.
I announced I'm going a different route, and I mean, it's happening.
It is happening, man, and it's happening at record pace. So that's the favor of God upon your life, and it's just exciting to be able to watch you on this journey.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've been wanting to do this conversation again. You're no stranger to effective living. You got the book, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not only do I have the book, but I've read the book.
Come on now. Yes, sir.
Because there's a difference, right?
There's a huge difference, most certainly.
So just you got the book don't mean you've read the book.
Yeah. Just before we dive into our talk, what was your thought on the book, bro?
Oh man, just well written. I think the concepts and the overall ideas of living effectively, man, you paved it out very simplistic. And so if anyone has the book and has not read the book, then I highly recommend you do so. If you do not have the book, then purchase the book and then read the book, because there are concepts within those pages that are really transformational, life transformational, and not just life transformational, Pastor Ricardo, but we're talking about generational change. When you begin to talk about family and faith and some of the other core ideas and values that you speak of within that book, we're talking about transforming legacy. And so I'm honored by the work that you're doing, and just to be a part has been a blessing to me and in my house.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the McConnell family. Let's dive in, man. Tell our viewing audience, for those who would have been getting a hold of Adrian McConnell live on Effective Living for the first time, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Sure, certainly. Well, I'm a young man from Kansas City, Kansas, and I've now recently moved back home. I think it's probably been almost 3 months. Okay. And I actually moved away from this area to go to college in Grambling, Louisiana, at Grambling State University. I have a degree in computer information systems, graduated, then ran off to Dallas. And that's when I was blessed to meet my brother, Pastor Ricardo. You know, God does things so strategic, and he sends you to places for a season and for a purpose. And so I'm thankful to the Lord for my time spent in Dallas. I was blessed to be able to work on staff side by side with Coach Ricardo and a lot of other individuals that are responsible for really who I am in this current day. And so you want to definitely surround yourself with amazing people. I've been blessed to be able to do that because they're a part of me. And they've been able to assist me with where I am in life today. So graduated, landed in Dallas, spent 18 years in Dallas, worked on staff at a couple of different churches while there in the city. And I was blessed while doing that, while being a youth pastor, to launch my own nonprofit organization called Youth Revive. I did that in August of 2013. I was really encouraged by some buddies of mine who were already doing work in the nonprofit sector. I was doing some contract work while on staff at a church. And a buddy of mine strongly suggested, hey, you need to start strongly considering launching your own nonprofit, man. And at the time, I really, honestly, I was not interested in venturing down that direction because I felt like my life had already been altered a time or two. I had a plan. You get me? I had a plan. And if you don't know me, I am an avid planner. I love to forecast. I love to foreshadow. So therefore, I already knew what I wanted to do. And so when I was encouraged to launch Youth Revive, I was really apprehensive because, again, that just was not on the radar. But yet and still, I felt not only impressions from others, but impressions from the Lord to go ahead and venture out. And actually, Youth Revive initially, its start was really to connect the local student to the local church through in-school programming. And while that is still one of our ambitions, it is not our direct target. We feel like if we can help students to grow in their civic character and in their civic education, therein lies a means of then connecting them to the body of Christ. And so that's just a little snapshot of who I am and what I do. I've been blessed with an amazing wife, Kashonda McConnell. We've been married 19 years, man. 19 years. We've been together a total of 24 years. We met when we were in high school here in Kansas City, Kansas, and ran off to college together, got married, and we have one, man, amazing, beautiful young lady, 13 years old, Kaylee McConnell. And man, she's really done well with the transition here to Kansas City, and that's kudos to not just my household, but individuals such as Pastor Miller, who was her children's pastor back in the day. So yeah, that's a quick snapshot of me.
Man, listen, I love it. I love Kaylee. I love your wife. I love your family. And
Brother.
18 years, y'all were in Dallas. So obviously, y'all got married and y'all, as you mentioned, you ran off and after a while established yourself in Dallas and then you went back to KC. Let's talk about when you decide, okay, a nonprofit, I'm going to do this. The conversation you had to have had with your wife, the decision to make this direction from a financial standpoint, deciding that, okay, knowing that you're a planner, okay, I'm going to do this. What was that like?
Yeah, well, after I made it up in my mind, I began to plan and and put the pieces together, have the necessary conversations. I think when starting a nonprofit, Coach Ricardo, it's imperative that you know what you're getting yourself into. I think sometimes, based upon my experience, I've seen other individuals launch nonprofits, but they have done so without a clear vision of actually what they want to achieve and accomplish. Now, of course, that can come somewhat further down the road, and definitely you're going to evolve, but it is very imperative that you at least have a general snapshot of what you're getting yourself into. And so I really began to do some work, some research, and have various conversation. Of course, you know, I talked to my wife. Man, at that point, my wife, my wife was already, she was already kind of in the clear on how things kind of operate and function with myself, you know, because God can randomly do the unexpected, and we have to be prepared for that. And so at this point in our marriage, back in 2012 going into 2013, as we were having the conversations of me launching Youth Revive, she was already psychologically prepared and her heart was ready, really, for whatever God was saying in that appointed moment in time, because we had really been there and done that. At that point, man, I had already been in full-time ministry for about 5 years. God called me off of my job in October of 2007 to go into full-time ministry. And so as we were going through that season of our lives together, we began to really understand how God operates in our household. You got to know that God operates in households differently at times. And so we begin to learn, okay, we have to write our plans in pencil. Don't write them in pen, because we just never know what new venture or what new journey God is going to bring us on. Case in point, us now being in Kansas City. So we had to become uncomfortable while yet being comfortable in the things that God would have for us to do. So yeah, that that was all a part of the early beginnings of Youth Revive. Us being able to have the necessary conversations, us really having faith and knowing that God was going to continue to make provision on our behalf.
You made some major adjustments. You moved from Kansas City, came to Dallas. You had a job, went into ministry, was in ministry, but wanted to launch a nonprofit. There are a lot of people who are watching us today who wants to start something. They want to start a nonprofit. They want to start a business. Taking the leap. How was that like for you when you knew that I needed to make the move? And there's been some strategic moves you've made along the way over the years where you had to make a decision to make a jump. Now, what was that like? What was some of the defining points to accept the going back to Kansas, to go into ministry, to start a nonprofit? Those are turns some people ponder on all their life and they never make the jump. What were some of the things that caused you to be so prone to being positioned or okay with making the turns or jump as necessary?
Yeah, for one, it's my faith. Nothing for me takes place without strong prayer and strong consideration. Before I started the nonprofit, there was time and space in between the idea of launching a nonprofit to actually doing it. Moving to Kansas City. Well, Coach Ricardo, I was considering moving back to Kansas City 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're talking time and space. So what are you doing in between that time and space? And how are you preparing? What does faith look like in between that gap? In between the idea, the prompting of the Spirit, in between that conversation that you are perhaps having with the spouse or with the friend about the next leap or the next move or the next season of your life. What does it look like, and what are you doing in between that gap? And sometimes, Coach, that gap is small because there's an immediate, urgent need for a transition, or there is an immediate need. Sometimes we're pushed into having to make decisions of transition. So nevertheless, whether that gap is immediate or whether that gap is, broad, it's all about what you're doing in between space and time. How are you preparing? Who are you talking to? And along the way, there will be tension, there will be apprehension, there will be fear, there will be questioning, and it can be all God. And yet, and still, those emotions and those what if thoughts are going. They're going to happen. You're going to encounter those moments where you're just unsure about the choice and the decision that you've made. We've been back in Kansas City for about three months, give or take, and I'm telling you, man, for the first month and a half, probably 2 months, there wasn't a day that went by where I didn't shake my head and was like, what in the world did I just do? Because I'm innately comfortable. I love my comfort, and some may think, I'm a risk taker, because at times I have taken risks. I've done what is necessary. However, that's not my preference. It is God that takes me out of my box. It is not me. So anyway, being here was really, on the initial end, though I was ambitious, though I was excited about the move, it's different once the move has transpired. It's different once the nonprofit has launched. It's like, okay, man, did I really do what was needed in order to get to where I'm at? Do I really have all of the tools? Do I have what it takes in order to make this thing survive? And I've seen individuals launch nonprofits with the right heart, with the right ambition, but yet and still they did not have the necessary tools and components. And granted, sometimes those tools and components don't come until much later, but yet and still, that's when ambition and tenacity really kicks in, and you being reminded within oneself that this is something that I know I'm called to do. So there's an array of different emotions when it comes down to any transition, whether that be launching a new business, or whether that be leaving a career and looking to start a new one, whether that be moving to a new city, whether that be having to take care of an ailing loved one. These are all transitions and changes and shifts in life that sometimes we plan for, and that sometimes happen unexpectedly. Yet and still, with the emotions that come by way of that, we must be eagerly prepared and ready for. And if you're not, then you have to look for resources such as Effective Living that is going to coach you and get you prepared and ready for what you've gotten yourself into.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have Adrian McConnell joining us live here on Effective Living. Listen, you just gave me a plug just now. I said, well, you know what? That's a good spot for a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead, check out this, and we'll be right back with Adrian McConnell.
Effective Living offers life management group coaching. This is a great introductory option for those who are ready for guidance to structure your life in such a way where there is a harmonious balance between having enthusiasm for what you need to do, coupled with fulfillment of doing what you want to do. Join our group coaching program today to start creating a life you don't need to take a vacation from. More information about our group coaching program can be found at www.ricardomiller.com.
Welcome back to Effective Living Morning TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined with Adrian McConnell. Listen, you have launched a successful nonprofit. Some may be watching and say, what is a nonprofit? Is it a business? What type of business? Can you give a small understanding of that for the viewers who may not be quite sure of what is an official nonprofit?
Yeah, certainly. So you have nonprofits, and then you have not-for-profits. Both are businesses. Okay, they function and operate as a business, but the difference is the IRS designation. So when you begin to launch or consider launching a nonprofit organization, there are some filings that you must do, not only within the city, but also with the state, and not only with the state, but you also have to do some filings with the IRS. And there is a strenuous process that you must go through, lots of documentation, lots of paperwork that are required. And so for me, when I launched Youth Revive, I actually reached out to SMU. SMU has Southern Methodist University in Dallas has a program where they assist with any type of filings that will be submitted to the state and or to the IRS in preparation for the launch of a nonprofit organization. And so it's idea, if you are considering launching a nonprofit organization, which is a business, that you get the necessary assistance that you need. There are also individuals that will handle the filings for you. They'll take care of all of the documentation and paperwork. That does typically run a fee. By the way, the IRS also requires a fee. I can't think of what that fee is current day. I know for the launch of Youth Revive, it cost us $500 to file with the IRS. And so that's something that you want to be aware of. That's something that you want to plan for financially. There is a startup cost with any other business venture that you'll begin. And so yes, there is a difference, and so you want to definitely get yourself ready and prepared for whatever it is that's necessary for your launch.
Let's talk about your daily operation, the role of faith in launching this day-to-day business service that, okay, this is what I feel I need to do. The role of faith in it, the role to trust God, and the role to believe God for the resources and manpower and so forth to bring it together. How was that for you?
It was challenging. It was challenging. And to each its own. We all have our own experiences. But I think if one has the drive and the ambition, if they know that this is something that God has called them to, it's important that you stick with it, that you push through. As I mentioned earlier, I've seen a number of individuals start nonprofits and really do nothing with their IRS designation. And so for where we are at currently, I know it's been nothing but persistence, dedication. I think there's a lot of time management, because when I started Youth Revive, I was doing some work with the Dallas Leadership Foundation. So there was a balance there that I had to create while yet still on staff at a church. I just recently, last November, started working with Youth Revive full time. And so it took us a while to be able to get to that point in place where I was able to draw a decent salary, a salary that's livable. And that all requires faith. The day-to-day operations have a direct tie to faith because you just never know what's going to come in. You're hoping, you're believing, you're praying that you've done the work that's necessary in order to receive the fundings that you need in order to provide the services for your vision. But that does not always take place. And so there must be an ongoing belief in what God has called you to.
When it comes to your nonprofit, it's very successful. You've done extremely well managing the nonprofit and managing family. You are a family man.
Yep.
You've been a strong man of faith and involved in the local church. When you were here in Dallas, you worked diligently with a lot of young people. The call of God to provide a service and managing the responsibility of family. How have that been for you, and what have been some of the lessons you've learned in managing that family and the call?
Yeah, great question. You know, it took some years to really create a healthy rhythm and a healthy balance between work and family. There is this idea and this concept that I often hear my wife talk about, and it's work-life balance. It's understanding that, yes, there is a time for work, but there is life after work. And life after work often is directly connected to the people that we care for and love, and that's family. I think it's imperative that you create those boundaries. Pastor Ricardo, I used to make myself available really 24/7. And if something needed to be done that was in relationship to the nonprofit, and there was a sense of urgency, meaning it needed my attention now and then, I would give my attention to it right then and there. Well, now I've come to understand that everything is not an emergency. Everything is not urgent. Just because someone else says that, you know where I'm going. Just because someone else is stating that they need your attention or this needs to be done at this given moment it doesn't necessarily have to have direct effect on me and my household. And so I don't work in the evenings any longer. I'm very cognizant of my cutoff time. I'm normally done working between 4 and 5 o'clock. If things, if it happens to go over, I'll maybe work until 5:30 or 6. But there is a fine balance, and I keep reiterating that because it's important that the viewership understands the importance of creating that balance and creating those boundaries. Me and my wife, I had to really protect our relationship. There were times where she would feel like, hey, you're on your phone too much, or you're doing this, and I had to get to a point in place where I was open to hear her out. Once I was able to listen, I was able to make the necessary changes so that my household felt like they were not secondary to my work or to my ministry.
Which can happen so easily in the life of a visionary person. Let's talk about this. The Effective Living platform is built around faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Let's dive into What does that look like for you? And you know, I'm a strong believer.
Yeah.
You know, faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. To me, that's effective living. When you've been able to merge them all, as you've so eloquently stated just now, having the ability to know that, hey, listen, work is a part of it, which helps with the finances, but I need to not over finance focus myself to miss the family sector. Or I'm so caught up in the finance making that I've missed faith and don't have time for God. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. What does all of that look like for you in the developmental role of Adrian McConnell and who he is to the world?
Yeah, great question. That, you know, those 5 values that you mentioned are very, very similar to the core values of my household. Yeah. I try to live out those 5 values every single day, except for Saturday and Sunday. I don't do my fitness, but Saturday and Sunday I take a break.
That's the reason why you weren't on the circle on the watch. I look for you on Saturdays.
Yeah, you won't see it on Saturday, brother.
Yeah, gotcha.
But we strive. I strive personally to have those 5 focuses take place every single day. There is a view on my finances. I'll look at the finances every single day. I'm taking a peek at my finances, not just for my home, but also for my organization. I'm looking at what's coming out. I'm looking at what's coming in. From a family aspect, we love to incorporate fun in everything that we do. So in the evenings, typically Monday through Thursday, we are sitting at the dinner table and we eat dinner collectively and we talk about our day and we laugh. Now, some days, depending on how the day goes, it may not be all smiles and laughter, but we're together.
Yeah,
we're together, and that is the most important thing. That there is an element and a highlight of family that we try to display and live out and value every single day. Even with our finance, like, you know, Monday through Friday, I'm at the gym. Right now, this is my gym time. I'm typically hanging out at the gym, and that is my time, you know, where I spend with self. There is a thing called self-care. If you are not familiar with self-care, then get connected to Effective Living. That's another plug, because there are conversations that take place in these group sessions and in the coaching that you're going to receive, wherein there will be opportunities for you to evaluate if you are taking care of yourself. Yeah. So in the mornings, even before I go to the gym, is my time with the Lord. I spend you know, my mornings 7 days a week with me and Jesus, and that's my opportunity to grow in my revelation and in my understanding of who God is. And as I grow in my understanding of who my God is, I'm able to grow into my understanding of who He's called me to be. And every day is an opportunity for me to grow in that understanding. Every day is an opportunity for me to grow in my capabilities of what God has called me to do and how I should go about doing it. And so those 5 mentioned values that are taught and preached and instructed by way of this platform is instrumental to who we are as individuals.
You know, Adrian, what you're saying that, man, when it comes to that discipline that demands that, you know, you give attention to all 5. You know, a lot of people, they got 1 or 2 of them on lock.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, you've established a vision for your family. You've established a goal overall as to you, your wife, and your daughter. This is what you guys are going to be about. I like the fact that I know your household. You guys believe in fitness. Y'all believe in taking care of your body. I mean, I see you on the Apple Watch. The circle keeps giving me the notification about you and your wife. Y'all hitting them circles, man. Y'all hitting them circles.
We tried, brother.
There was one time you went missing for a couple of weeks, I think it was.
Yeah.
I said, what's going on? I tried to send you a competition, but you wouldn't accept it. But ladies and gentlemen, all jokes aside, I want you to know Effective Living is doing something locally here in the Dallas area. It's going to be our Effective Living Fitness Bootcamp. It's a fun day. It's an enjoyable Saturday morning in November. You can come and check it out, guys. We're going to show up. We're going to take over that park, and we're going to have a great time. And no matter where you are in your fitness journey, you're going to have a blast. Our community is amazing. And our goal is to help you take care of the vehicle God is going to use to fulfill your assignment. Go to our website and register for Effective Living Fitness Bootcamp. I promise you, you won't regret it. Now, Adrian McConnell, looking back over your life, you've made these strategic decisions. What guides you? Let's talk about that as we bring our talk to a close. What guides you? What are some of the main things that you keep the main things in your pursuit to continuing to establish a successful nonprofit and to being a man that you can look in the mirror at and say, you know what? I'm proud of who I am and I'm proud of who I'm becoming.
Yeah. It's a willingness to daily evolve. I'm not closed-minded. I do my best to place myself in circles that are going to push me to think differently. I think that's important. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable circles at times in order for you to be able to become all that you believe God is wanting you to be. I think, too, the focuses that we've already mentioned, the values, if you're not living by some guided compass, if you're not always pointing your attention to a North Star or the North Star, then it's going to be difficult for you to be able to fulfill who you are. Now, there are seasons, just like Coach Ricardo just mentioned. There was a season where I wasn't hitting my circles. I wasn't living out my values, and there are moments in life where you may encounter that. However, Coach Ricardo also mentioned what I'm doing currently. And it's always important that when you find yourself disaligned, that you work yourself back to alignment. That when you get off track, you find a means to get back on track. And that's been really, for me, Coach, it's been a drive and an effort and an ambition to keep the vision that God has for me and my household before me, in front of me, and looking forward and setting my attention towards the things that I want to achieve and accomplish. And so while there may be moments where I'm not doing everything that I know I can do, I think it's healthy to be able to even be in that space of mind where I'm able to realize and understand, okay, I'm out of whack here. Something's not aligned here. Let me get back where I need to be. When you are in that space, then you're able to achieve and accomplish whatever it is that you have set out to do from a day in, day out basis.
That's so good. Let's talk about this. What do you see for your nonprofit moving forward? What does the future look like?
Yeah, I'm excited about the future, man. I'm really hoping, believing, praying, planning that in the next 3 to 5 years, that Dallas, our nonprofit there, because everything is still functioning, it's operating, it's blooming, it's blossoming, that we'll have a executive director that is specifically assigned to running all of the infrastructure that is taking place there. While here in Kansas City, we have a executive director as well. And honestly, I'm looking forward to getting back involved in church ministry. So I'll always have a hand in Youth Revive, but it's going to look different in the next 3 to 5 years.
So let me push the envelope. Do we see? I was gonna mess with you and say, oh man, love and appreciate you, man. Listen, let me ask you this: if someone wanted to connect with Youth Revive and they wanted to find out how they can be a part of what you guys have going on, how can persons do that?
Yes, we're on all social media platforms, except for TikTok. We're not on TikTok, but you can find us on Facebook, Youth Revive Inc. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, all at Youth Revive Inc. You can find us on our website. More information can be found there at www.youthrevive.org. Please feel free to connect with me personally. My email address is adrianm@youthrevive.org. Again, that's adrianm@youthrevive.org. Or you can call us at 214-414-9449.
Hey man, it's always a joy, always a delight to have a conversation with you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I want your closing thoughts to our viewing audience for those who may aspire to run a successful nonprofit. What will be your closing thoughts? But before you do that, I want you to know, man, exciting things are still happening here in the Dallas area, and I look forward to when you and Lady McConnell's back in the area.
Yes, sir.
Karen and I want to treat you guys for dinner and say, welcome back to Dallas for the weekend. We'll maybe take you to a Cowboys game. You see what's happening with the Cowboys.
I ain't going to no Cowboys game, but you can take me out to dinner anytime. And I like steak, brother. So Bob's Steakhouse would be really, really good.
My preferred space is Perry's Steakhouse, but we can do.
Oh, you want to go to Perry? Okay, we can do Perry's too. We can do Perry's. Yeah. Final closing thoughts. Oh wow. I'm gonna go preach on you.
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2:2 says to write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
Write the vision and make it plain. So if you are considering launching a nonprofit organization, then you need to write your vision, and you want to make sure that it is plain so that others can clearly understand the inner workings of what you are seeking to achieve and accomplish.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, write the vision. Adrian McConnell, is always a delight to have you, my brother. I am excited about what God's doing in your life. I love what God's doing in your family's life. And Brothers for Life, man, you enjoyed the Bahamas. I'm coming to KC to enjoy KC in the not too distant future.
We're going to make it happen.
God bless you, man.
Bless you, brother. Thank you so much.